Hey, welcome everybody. I hope the technical part is working. Guy, can you hear me?
I can hear
I
you
think
loud,
so.
loud and clear, loud and clear. And I already
And
see that people
the
joining.
people are joining. Can you maybe send a message in the chat if you can hear us? Sound is good. Look, okay, that's cool. I think we wait 1 or 2 minutes to people to drop in, and then we can start. So, yeah, let's wait a minute. We hope you're doing fine today. The weather is good, so at least over here. I don't know how it's in Eindhoven at your place, Guy.
It's quite nice actually, and I can't complain. I can't complain. I already see a lot of familiar faces joining in. Channable as well. Who couldn't they be? It's the best Channable use case of the year award. I already expected them, so nice welcome to them as well. Some other agencies as well.
Pretty cool.
I think wait is over. Let's if people want to join, they can join later on.
Yeah, okay, then we'll start. So, first of all, thank you for being here. This is the first episode of Taskforce Talks, where we dive in e-commerce topics and cases we have deployed in the past. So today we're going to talk about our case of from my auto onderdelen. It's about scalability in this case. Guy has created this case together with our colleague Wiebe. And yeah, it's pretty cool to see how we created the growth in this account. And yeah, I think we can dive into it. So Guy, I think it's good to start.
Okay, great. Short introduction for the people who doesn't know me, what I can totally understand. My name is Guy, co-founder of Taskforce, a PPC and data agency with only seniors, which we started like 2 years ago. Personally, I'm always been active in PPC community and have a love for innovation and work with Channable for I think more than 10 years now. Started way back. So happy to be here. A few months ago, I think it's 3 months ago, I already did this presentation at the Channable partner event, where we won the prize for the best use case of Channable 2025. But there was only limited tickets over there. So we thought, okay, let's do this again with them online so that everybody could join. I think the presentation will take around 20 minutes. After that, there is some room for questions. You can use the comment section for that. That being said, let's dive in with a short introduction of Mijn Auto Onderdelen. Mijn Auto Onderdelen is one of the largest e-commerce shops in the Netherlands, and they are specialized in car parts. They have an online revenue approaching 7 figures, and they have a massive amount of products for as well the consumers as to the B2B clients. Next to Mijn Auto Onderdelen, they also have Car Parts Direct, which has approximately the same products and are quite similar. That's something good to know. So we are now active for more than a year for Mijn Auto Onderdelen, and I want to take you along, and I thought it was nice to take you along on a road trip. We are selling car parts, so I thought this is more a nice storyline. So yeah, let's dive in, and I take you along on our road trip. So the starting point of our road trip was a few months ago, and we opened the account, and actually where we just got stuck in traffic right away. We opened that Google Ads account and we saw a massive amount of manual campaigns. This was really outdated. It were like more than 150 campaigns running, and they were all set up manually. With that amount of product, the whole overview was gone, and it was really hard to get grip on the account. So actually, we we turned the car back around, and we went to the drawing table again, and we start talking about the final destination first. So what was it what Mijn Auto-onderdelen wanted us to do? They wanted to have an increase of online visibility, and of course they are an e-commerce shop. They want to boost their sales. But the thing was, they not only want to grow, but they also want profitable growth. So it wasn't just about gaining market share. They also wanted that growth to be profitable. Some speed bumps we directly saw was that everything was set up manually, as said before, and it was a little overview. So it wasn't quite clear what was giving the actual revenue at that moment. So we already thought, okay, we should automate things as fast as possible. We first had a manual map. Okay, let's just at least use a TomTom. At this point, we already start talking about dynamic campaign creation, where Channable is a perfect tooling for. So we start doing the field work. And as many of you guys know, the field work always starts with doing research on how do customers actually search. Because when my car is broken, I'm not going to search for new wind wiper for this car, this serial number, and this specific part. No, because I don't know the exact name of that specific part. I have no technical knowledge. I just need my car to start working again. So how do I search? I search for Kia Niro windshield wiper. I'm going to use the brand of my car, maybe the model, and then I just think, okay, I need a new windshield wiper. Help me. So by that being said, we know that the search campaigns should focus on that. But that wasn't the case at this moment. When doing that field research, we also had a little breakthrough, because we found out that many of the parts that we were using were universal. So the same window wiper that works for an Audi also worked for a Mercedes or a Kia Niro, etc., etc. And we discovered that there was a huge untapped marketing potential, because the same product could be used in multiple situations. But when we want to start the dynamic campaign creation, there was a red light. We directly saw a huge problem, because the product feed only listed the part and the type. So there was no car brands or model that the product was usable for mentioned in the basic product feed in Channable. And by missing that, we couldn't also use that for our dynamic campaign creation, which led to a missed search potential. So the question was, okay, we want to add those variables, but how should we add those variables? So, and here's where the scalability starts. We started by multiplying the products. There were like 120,000 products in the basic feed, and we start adding more variables in those basic product feeds. And in Channable, we start duplication of those product feeds. And by adding those variables, we were able to gain from 120,000 products towards 8 million. which is quite funny. When you start running the Channable rules, it actually takes a few minutes now to let the rule do his work, where normally it uses like 2-3 seconds. I'm gonna share a little bit deeper how we duplicate those products, but that's all later on. After the duplication part, we start making the dynamic PPC generators, where we can actually use the search campaigns where people actually search for. So this is a small example of the windshield wiper, where it was first one product, but afterwards we had like 20 or 25 products, which are actually the same. It is the same product, but now it is looks like a windshield wiper for a Chevrolet, for a Dacia and Dodge, and so on and so on. The fun part is that we also made sure that the website was set up with the same URL structure, that we always could send also the specific landing page, what was the same as the car part and the model. So how did this look like in a deep dive? I didn't share this one at the partner day because it's really technical, but maybe I got some questions afterwards, so I thought maybe add those in here. What we did, we added another variable into a specific product, and it looked like this. And in this model compatible field, we added a bunch of data for all the models and all the car models that the product was eligible for. And at that moment, we created a rule where we said, okay, if your model compatible isn't empty, then join the list with text and take the ID and split the text based on a specific field, which was this one. And because we know that the variable had the same order every time, we know that the ID was always in the same place. By doing that, we scaled for one product from a 20,000 product to 8 million. And one product becomes like 60 plus unique variations. As being said, the most important part was that also the website structure was in order to do this, because each car model or brand had a dedicated URL, and we made sure that those URLs had the matching product variations. By doing that, the customer always landed on a highly relevant page, which led to a higher conversion rate. So basically the impact was quite clear. Not only the customers saw exactly what they were looking for, the Kia Neo windshield wiper, but they also saw directly on the site that product was matching their car. With no technical background, I need those confirmation to be sure that I can buy that windshield wiper. So the dynamic campaign creation was actually precision, but also scaling, because normally dynamic campaign creation, you can make sure that there was a massive amount of campaigns in no time, but using the exact model and the car brand made sure that the query was actually quite specific as well. And as being said in the beginning, there was little or no overview in the account. It was really hard to find which products and which brands actually led to the revenue. And by doing this, we had a quite good overview of what was profitable and what wasn't. For now, we could, for example, advertise on product categories as well, but also combined with car models and brands, but also car brands in combination with the model-specific part, or GTIN or MPN number. In the
Can I
end,
break in, Guy?
yeah,
Sorry.
of course.
Yeah, and of course, all those campaigns are created based on the product feed. So you have always, your advertisements based on your current stock level and so on. Because we noticed in the past that there were campaigns running for parts that aren't in the inventory as well. So based on this, we had saved a lot of money because we only advertise on categories we have in stock, and also if the of course, just like in shopping, when their products are added to the inventory, they're automatically built in this setup. So it's very less prone for errors in this case, and it's always up to date. So that was also an breakthrough in this case.
Yeah, indeed. Quite an example was that I once saw a car that was like 10, 15 years old and wasn't made anymore, but it was still in the campaigns. And by using this dynamic campaign creation, that is now not longer the case. So how, as are being said, I forgot to mention that we had the same products for car parts direct, and we want to minimize the cannibalization between those two websites. As being said, they have the same products. I'm coming on that a little bit later. So how does the dynamic campaign creation works? We actually made sure that all the custom intent search queries were covered. The brand of the parts, but also in combination with the category, but also the category in combination with the buying terms, top categories, etc., etc. Mijn auto-onderdelen, that website was way better focused on the specific car models and brands compared to car parts direct. Those were more upper funnel search terms. So to be sure that we weren't competing against each other, we made sure that the lower funnel queries were in Mijn auto-onderdelen, where the upper funnel search terms were in car parts direct. As being said, it was a lot of campaigns. I think you guys all know this specific campaign generator. I don't have to explain this to you, but in total we had 46 PPC generators with 216,000 different ads, which was quite a lot. But we also had some pit stops on the way. As being said in the beginning, the growth was not only meant to be revenue mode, but it should always be profitable. So we implemented profit tracking for being sure that the actually increase in revenue was also profitable. And we also added a basic labelizer structure for shopping. Room for improvement here. This is still just a normal labelizer. In the next upcoming months, we are thinking about a first-party labelizer to implement here as well. Maybe in a few months we can come back on that. That is now in process. So what about the results? Phase 1, we scaled the products from 120 to 8 million, but also the keyword coverage went up by 160%, and capturing way more search intent. The ads skyrocketed, as being said, but the most important one, every query now leads to a highly relevant ad with a perfect match landing page. By doing that, the average quality score raised and the CTR went up by 58% year on year. Conversion goals, the CPC actually increased, but it paid off. In total, in search, the purchases went up by 46%, with a 62% higher revenue. So we did exactly what they asked us: more volume, more revenue, and it was profitable. I cannot share the profit data here, but the PO was also quite good. So what did this all cost? The implementation of us costed, our management fee was €10,000 for 4 months of work. Channable fee was quite high compared to average, but it was worth it. The profitability and the ROE was undeniable. And yeah, it is clear to say that we saved a lot of hours. And as Ruben mentioned, quite good, there is no room for errors anymore in the future. So that's quite nice. I'm gonna skip this one, which was specific for the partner day. But I also want to address this to you guys, because I can understand that you guys think, yeah, okay, this is a perfect case for Mijn Auto-onderdelen, because there are a lot of car parts or car models, but this is quite also useful for a lot of other cases. For instance, we are now have a client who is selling retail screens of screens, TV screens, and we're now going to use this, but instead of models, we are going to use branches like retail screens, education screens, healthcare screens, etc., etc. The same goes for bikes. We now have a bike shop where we can use this as well. So this case is really a blueprint, and I think that there are a lot of cases where this is usable, where maybe your first thought isn't about that. And this is a little practical joke I couldn't not make. That being said, this was the presentation of the Channable use case. I hope you guys thought it was nice. So if you have any
I
questions.
have a question for you, Guy. I know the client, of course. What do you need to start with this? And we know Mijn Auto-onderdelen has a good developer and has good ways to enrich the URL, for example, which for the competitor, for the cars, which the parts are eligible for. What do we know? What did we need to start with this setup?
Maybe it's a good one that I already see a question of Boyd van Dongen coming in, and I think that your question is really relatable to his question, because he said, okay, how can you make those your website do this? There are multiple ways. The most honest way, the client already had a really good website where he could add titles dynamically based on the UTMs. So that is a possibility. But he also made a lot of those URLs manually by just creating them. Just creating them with certain rules. So it wasn't just everything manually, but based on certain rules, those URLs were made. But there are tooling to do this dynamically. For instance, I've worked in the past for Allianz Direct, and they actually had a license plate on the screen as well, and they did that based on UTMs, I believe.
Yes.
So possibility.
Okay, Boyd, does that answer your question in this case? Because, of course, the developer doesn't create all those 8 million variations by hand. Okay, that's answer your question. Then we can go.
Coming back, Boyd, on for you on the name of the software, because I haven't in top of mind right now. So I'm gonna look it back, and then I'm going back to you.
Okay.
Also, the question of Jurgen. So how do you generally duplicate those products? As being said, I think the most important one, there is a rule by split items, and I think you should investigate that one if you want to know how to duplicate products. I think
Yeah,
that,
maybe we can dive into that later. If you want, then we can show the setup to you and show how we done it. But in this case, yeah, it's all about the attribute where all the car parts, the attribute compatible models. On that part, we can split products, create a new product, and add those variables as well. So if you have questions, please let us know, then we can show you. Another question from Jurin de Peuter about the generic labelized strategy. What do we consider a generic and more advanced strategy? Maybe I can elaborate a little bit more about that one,
yeah,
because I have worked with that a lot. So the basic labelized strategy is, of course, the strategy that Product Hero launched a few years ago with the heroes, zombies, villains, and what's the last one? I don't know. Doesn't matter. So what we like to do is we like to add more data points into that system. So in this case, we try to do it with first party data, for example, with the return rates of the product, with the sales velocity of speed. So in this case, how fast does a product sell out? We used to consider it the pricing of the product as well. If we know if a product has good price compared to the competitors, then we want to push a product also. So we like to build a system with like a point system, and we can use those data points to labelize the products a little bit smarter and push the products and to be more profitable in the end. So I hope that answers your question as well.
yeah. Maybe directly taking another question, because I see a lot of questions in the chat, so that's really nice, and keep them coming up because it's the fun part. Let me take a look. I already see that. I hope I pronounced your name right, Kinu.
Keanu.
Yeah, that's better. You have a question about the low budgeting. That was a main advantage of us. We had quite some budget with Mijn Auto onderdelen. But we also made some loopholes where data was sent back towards Channable as well, where when specific keywords or ad groups with high volume but no conversion were actually paused. And by doing that, we made sure that that the money wasn't skyrocketing. But also when we knew that some custom intent were low volume with a lot of keywords, then we grouped them in one campaign to be sure that there was enough volume. So I think that is something your question answers.
Yeah, what we also noticed that you hit limits within Google Ads. If you get all your products or virtual products in this case, we hit limits within the ad groups. I think you can have 100,000 ad groups in one campaign. I don't know the exact number, but something like that. So that forced us to break up the campaigns in more campaigns. And otherwise, when that wasn't the case, I think we should consolidate the campaigns a little bit more. But in this case, we had to. So I hope that answers your question as well. Reinier Roodhorst, did you see a higher quality score after creating the landing pages?
Easy answer. Yes, we did. I don't know the exact numbers, to be honest. But we saw those increasing. But it also was quite hard to compare because a lot of, as being said, the old method was really diverse. There were a lot of manual campaigns, and it was quite hard to compare those.
Yeah.
But we looked in general, we saw a lot of increasing. So that's that.
Okay. And did we implement the POAS-based strategy from start? So in this case, yeah.
Yeah, we did this simultaneously. So this was something we did along the way. And at that point, we weren't steering on POAS pixels yet. At this moment, we do. And why do we wait? We wait to make sure that the pixel actually have enough data that enough data to steer the algorithm on. So we made a switch a couple of weeks ago, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. When duplicating the products, did we also keep the default product in the feed, or did we exclude it?
We kept it, but to be honest, it doesn't matter that much. Why isn't? Because at the end, the default product doesn't have a model or a car brand in the feed. So when we start generating the PPC generators, the first rule was when model is empty, then delete. So by duplicating, it was still in the feed, but when going into the generator part, that was deleted. And maybe that's also a good step for the next question of Boyd. Did duplicate products have their own unique ID? I don't know, to be honest, but also this doesn't matter that much, because the unique ID it wasn't used for shopping; it was only used for search. So to be honest, I think it has, but yeah, I don't know for sure.
Yeah, so in this case, I do know that we used different IDs in this case. So there are generated as well within the rules. So we can use it for shopping as well. Okay, Jochem has some question. When I test some shopping ads that are optimized for brand, model, and product, I still end up with a generic landing page. Do you have an example URL where it does work well?
I should investigate those, but those, as being said, those are shopping ads, and we were focusing on search ads. But I can come back to you and to make sure that I have a good example.
I make screenshot of your question, and then Guy can come back later to you about that, because I think we have the answer on that question as well, but we have to dive in it for you. So we like to do that, so you can get an email from us later. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. There are no questions anymore. We like to thank you very much for your attention. Next month, we are diving into another topic. It's in case I have presented in Bologna last few months ago, where we also did some nice thing, but we can inform you about that later. So thank you for now, guys, and hope to see you soon. And if you have questions, please let us know. You have our email address if it's all well, and otherwise you can send us a DM on LinkedIn or something like that, and then we can see from there. So have a nice day. Thank you very much, and speak to you later.
Thank you, guys.